A holy angel invited a man to conquer the world, only to be suddenly killed by him in a single strike. The angel never realized until her death that she was there to help him. As long as she was by his side, no matter what he did, someone would cover for him. But why did he destroy all of this? Watching those incredibly cringy eyes and actions, the angel realized this person was completely insane. Actually, I am just a lunatic. In the real world, I am still just trash that everyone despises. Every classmate would gasp in surprise when they saw me, because everyone knew that my mother was the murderer who killed my father, and naturally, I became the son of a murderer. Therefore, every time I arrived at school, I would find my desk covered in filthy insults. But I had long since become numb to these curses and insults. I kept telling myself it was okay. I still had that game, The Last Eden. To me, the real world is the virtual one. I have a real world of my own, a place that will be with me for a lifetime, and that is here, The Last Eden. This is an old-school online game that existed before I was born. My parents met in this game and even got married. But later, reality began to torment me in every way, and everyone despised me. This was a game my mother once taught me, and now it has become my only way to escape. As time passed, most players left. Whenever I log in, I feel the ground beneath my feet become more real. Here, I am more than anyone else. I can achieve anything I want here. But every time I return to the starter village, there is a figure waiting for me at the exit, and that is the starter village NPC, Eve. Every time he sees me return, he asks if I had a good day, and I have gone from that unknown kid to the #1 player in this game. And you NPC have been by my side since the beginning. Everyone else is moving forward, but you are just a beginner's guide. But I don't want to leave you behind in this godforsaken place because you're always there for me when I'm lonely. Whenever I log into the game feeling down, he asks me what's wrong, telling me that if I have anything bothering me, I can always confide in him. This gives me an illusion, a feeling of being cared for. What he said moved me deeply. He told me he would always be by my side and would never leave. But the arrival of this day shattered so many years of happiness because this game is shutting down, only to return to players in the future with a brand new look. I sat at the computer reading these notices, and it felt like even the NPC who had always been by my side was going to leave me. All my years of emotion and effort are in there, and everything I possessed has completely vanished today. Even the achievements I reached in this game have become nothing more than fleeting smoke. But every time I chatted with you, you would ask me how my day was. Yet now the servers are shutting down, even though you said you would always be by my side. And the next moment, the program to shut down the server began to run. This makes me feel like you're going to leave me too, just like mom and dad. I want to know why everyone leaves me behind. I don't want to be alone. I still want to continue this adventure with you. But in the very last second before the server shuts down, I really wish this world were just a game. When I sent this message to Eve, a dazzling light burst from my computer screen. Eve told me the game wasn't over yet, and that we could still start this game together. Time quickly arrived at the next morning, and a gentle breeze blew into my room from outside. I opened my eyes groggily by the computer. I didn't even know how I had fallen asleep. I looked up at the screen, and the game interface already showed that I had been kicked by the server. Only now did I realize that what happened yesterday was just a dream. I arrived at my classroom as usual, but I was greeted with a flying kick. A classmate said to me very angrily, "Did you put the things on my desk?" But I had no idea what had actually happened. When I looked at his desk, I was completely stunned. I saw that some goblin parts were placed on his desk. I said to him, "Why is there a level 1 low-level goblin on your desk?" My classmates were confused by what I said. "Isn't that a dead cat on the desk? How could it be a goblin?" This enraged the man, making the veins on his forehead pop out. "Going to the same school as you is an insult to my character. Have you played games until you've gone stupid, unable to distinguish between the game and reality? Then tell me, do I have a level display bar above my head too?" I said yes, you're also level 1 right now. But just as this man was about to teach me a lesson, a panel appeared in midair, and a hand reached out and grabbed the man's arm. Without saying a word, he pulled hard and ripped the man's arm right off. The man's arm being ripped off happened in an instant. He only felt waves of sharp pain shooting through his arm, nearly causing him to faint. The others had no idea what was happening or why a hand had reached out from the TV. The woman in the panel slowly said, "I have waited so long, it is finally time to fulfill my promise." Immediately after, a woman resembling an angel stepped out from the panel. So this is what real air is like. Just one breath makes me feel refreshed and relaxed. I was also stunned and dumbfounded by this scene. The other students were the same, thinking this was just a movie shoot. How could someone walk out of midair? But the next second, a health bar appeared above everyone's head and the level was set to 1. The woman slowly spoke to me. "I have always looked forward to meeting you. Just the thought of being with you makes my heart race. For me, the game world is the true hell, but for you, our situations are reversed. Reality is your hell. We are all escaping the hells we are in. We can erase all obstacles and let reality merge with the game so that we can rule this world. So are you willing to be with me forever? And as long as we join forces, ruling this world won't be difficult. You know, you've killed people before, right? The lives in this world don't really matter to you either." My face turned fierce. I never expected Eve, my constant companion, to already know my childhood secrets. Suddenly, the man clutched his arm, begging us to call an ambulance. Ignoring his plea, I summoned my weapon and pierced straight through his chest. The sensation of holding my weapon was exactly the same as when I used it in the game. After taking care of this man, I turned my gaze toward Eve. Seeing what had just happened, Eve was also convinced that her judgment had been correct. "I really didn't misjudge you. Since you can kill your own classmate, we can join forces to rule this world." However, my countless slashes landed on Eve, and even the mission instructions she had issued to me were sliced into pieces while her entire upper body fell to the ground with a thud. The next moment, my own unique ranking and level appeared above my head. Since the game has descended into reality, I am now the strongest in this world. But as an NPC in the game, how could she die so easily? Her head began to reassemble onto her body. Didn't we promise to be together forever before? Why did you break your promise? And why do you want me to stay by your side? Because I know NPCs don't die easily. I want you by my side simply as a substitute. Everyone else has left me, and you're the only one remaining. Besides, in the women's prison at sea, if this world really has become the final Eden, there must be stronger people I could team up with instead of an NPC like you. So don't get killed in one hit, or this game will be too simple. Eve chuckled, showing no sadness. She said, in the end, you're just like everyone else. Then, Eve snapped her fingers, and countless portals appeared, from which many level 5 monsters emerged. Aren't these the monsters I used to hunt back when I started? Eve, you're looking down on me too much. I stood there, swinging my greatsword to wipe out the monsters, then immediately held it against your neck. Is this all you've got? It's just too boring. Did you really think the trash you summoned could hurt me? But Eve placed her hand on my forehead. If the game is too easy, then it's really no fun at all. Then Eve flicked my forehead, and my consciousness arrived in an unknown space, realizing this could be the entrance to the final Garden of Eden. Then the door opened, and wisps of terrifying aura poured out. Terrifying bosses emerged. Eve asked, how is it now? This space contains many monsters from the game. This is a monster feast prepared especially for you. I hope you have a good time in this space. Just as Eve finished speaking, I eliminated the monsters that had just appeared with a few slashes. These monsters pose no threat to me at all. On the contrary, I'm actually quite excited now because I can finally use my skills here. I said to Eve, the monster's offensive definitely isn't over yet, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't have dragged me here. Of course, this space isn't simple. This is just the first round, and these are the lowest level monsters. Hearing that, I felt excited. Maybe this place will actually be fun. Before long, the space shifted, evolving from a small boss into a level 100 medium-sized boss. As soon as it appeared, the monster pinned me underground, but I leaped up and destroyed it with a single slash. I was wondering where they were popping out from. It turns out you connected this space directly to the boss. Taking them out one by one is too boring. Let's have all the bosses come at me at once. The mirror-like space suddenly shattered, and countless high-level monsters crawled out to attack me. I told you before that games and reality have merged. I intended to create a world just for us, but the moment you betrayed me, I decided I am going to merge other games into this world as well. As other games merge into this world, everyone's costumes and levels have descended upon them, and now broadcasts have started to sound. Monsters have begun to appear one after another, starting from a high school, and the citizens' clothing and appearances have also changed, looking more like characters from a game. And this phenomenon is spreading outward, even globally. If other games also overlap with this world, besides you, there must be other rankers out there. I didn't think much of what Eve said. If other game rankers appeared, I would kill them all. Eve felt that I was becoming increasingly arrogant. Do you really think you can do that? Without me, would your gear and level even exist? With a wave of my hand, I could reset you to level 1. You've lost your paradise. This is the price for rejecting me. You might as well choose to fight in hell. I watched in shock as my character began to disappear. I had put so much effort into this level, and now my gear and progress were all gone. Because you violated our contract, I have reset your character. Try starting over from the beginning in this world. A pathetic and useless level 1 character. Eve thought I would cry and beg her to restore my level and cooperate with her, but I didn't do that. Instead, I just laughed right there on the spot. Even if you reset my level, so what? After all, there are plenty of monsters here that can help me level up. I just need to step on a very, very weak monster, and I can go from level 1 to level 2. This is the game world I've always dreamed of. Eve understood what I meant in an instant. Since you think you can start all over again, then I'll give you a hopeless way to die. The next moment, I was sent flying by an unknown attack. If you think this is the game world you've always dreamed of, then what if I summon a level 45 boss? Will you still find it so easy? Let me see just how pathetic you'll be in this world without me. I gave a bitter smile. I knew you'd pull a nasty trick like this on me. I grabbed the mop nearby and stood up, ready to fight them to the death. But my own level and damage are at the lowest, so it's impossible for me to kill them in a short time. However, I'd mastered all the monster's patterns, so it was possible to slowly wear it down. But Eve didn't want to make things easy, so she had the monster increase its strength and launch a fierce attack. The impact sent me flying, leaving me with only half a mop handle. I didn't expect that such a large level gap would leave me completely powerless. So, is this the limit of my character? The next moment, one of my feet. I was bitten by the monster's tentacles, and no matter how I attacked, it was useless. The damage I dealt to it was pitifully small. Soon, all my limbs were firmly gripped by the monster, leaving me completely unable to move. Eve came up to me and said, "Do you understand now? Without me, you are nothing." It made me wonder, if she weren't there, could I do anything at all? Eve didn't answer. She slipped back into the TV and said, "You'll come looking for me eventually, assuming you're still alive when you do. I hope you can escape this monster's attack on your own." At that moment, I was on the verge of being devoured by the monster, yet I felt no fear. I had one thought. The real show had just begun. The monster opened its abyss-like maw, intending to swallow me in one gulp. A figure appeared, transforming into a young girl who asked if I was alright. She was glad she arrived in time, noting that dealing with these low-level bugs only required a bit of power. Then she pressed her finger down like a switch, and the monster's massive body was crushed flat by a yellow cube. The monster felt the pain and dropped me. I stared at the girl in disbelief, unsure who she really was. She pointed upward, activating her skill. 2 more cubes descended from the sky, smashing the monster. It made me wonder, who exactly is she? They are top-ranked players from other games. The woman played a familiar game as if she were playing the piano. After she cleared it with a high score, a terrifying beam of light descended, instantly obliterating the monster. Once the threats were gone, she reached out saying, "I finally found you." It was Zhang Xianya, the top star rhythm player, but I didn't care at all. "Who the hell are you to come and meddle in my business?" Blushing, Zhang Xianya said, "I just wanted to help." Watching my health bar hit 0, I was far from pleased. I was having fun playing. Then I grabbed half a piece of wood from the ground, and without hesitation, I slashed it across my own neck. To Zhang Xianya's shock, my body split in two right in front of her, and she was frozen in place, terrified by the scene. She immediately grabbed my face and asked why I had suddenly become like this, saying that I absolutely must not die just like that. And the next moment, many people in the hallway were running away frantically as if something extremely terrifying was chasing them. Zhang Xianya curiously poked her head out to take a look, only to see a human at the end of the hallway chasing after these ordinary people, wiping them all out with just a single sword strike. One player was so terrified he collapsed, grabbing Zhang Xianya's leg and begging her to save him. He pleaded, "You're in my class, right? We're friends. Please save me." The human behind her was simply insane, but Zhang Xianya's eyes had already said it all. All that talk about being friends was just a lie. But just as this woman was about to continue calling for help, she was sliced in two by the human behind her. As he killed this game player, his own experience points increased by over 800,000. The man said calmly, "The experience points from game players are truly sweet." After gaining over 800,000 experience points, his own level reached the maximum of 250, and his ranking rose from second to first place. He said, "Just as I expected, it's a good thing I leveled up my alt account." Immediately after, he hid his helmet. After Zhang Xianya saw the man's face in front of her, it was as if she had 1,000 words she wanted to say to him. Although my main account was reset by Eve, I'm the only one who knows that I have an alt account. It is also a top-tier character, just like my main account. From here on out, this is my true game world.